This next guest needs very little introduction. Former UFC bantamweight champion, now about to take over the featherweight division of UFC 307 and take over the party scene with Funk Harbor, his Jamaican rum. The fact that he just had a huge weekend in the office with his teammate and friend Merab winning the world title, UFC 306. Aljamain Sterling, welcome to Submission Radio, man.
Yes, very busy. Great time for the team.
UFC 306. Still playing in people's minds. It was a spectacle, but if you had to describe that performance from Merab, I know you were there, in a couple of words, like how would you describe it?
A couple of words, just follow the game plan and not let the hype media of the machine overshadow what we were good at, and sticking to our game plan and making sure that we did what we needed to do to win.
So was that the game plan? Like when you guys were planning for this and going through how it's going to play out, did it kind of match up to exactly what you were thinking, or was there anything that kind of surprised you in there?
No, nothing surprised me at all. If anything, this was the least nervous I've ever been for one of Merab's fights, to be 100% honest. I think everybody else was a little bit more I don't want to say nervous, but anxious about it. For me, it was just more like, I can't wait for him to go out there and just show that what I've been saying has been the truth, and it has nothing to do with saltiness. It just has everything to do with, just having a bad night in the office, and Merab is truly the best guy in the division right now.
Dude, it was such a special moment seeing him get that belt wrapped around his waist and you guys being there all together. I know Herb Dean, he kind of copped a little bit of flack for kind of interjecting throughout the fight, telling the guys to keep fighting when, I don't know, it just didn't really seem right. He was very vocal, and I know John Anik even said it kind of felt like he interjected himself into this fight a little too much. How did you feel about Herb's performance on this one? A couple of weird sort of moments there.
I definitely think he interjected way more than he should have. Merab would just get a takedown. He's landing knees, he's landing punches, and he's like, work, or I'm going to stand you up. And I'm just like, I'm so confused what's going on, because we definitely seen a lot of other previous grappling scenarios, and I don't think we've heard the ref get anywhere near as vocal. And in some of those other fights, there's probably way more situations where they could have actually stepped in to say something a little bit more. And I don't think Merab's fight in any of those positions were anything like that. So it just seemed a little bit like maybe the political debate where one guy is fighting two moderators and his opponent. So it kind of felt very similar to that.
Dude, yeah, maybe the sphere kind of got to him. Things are moving all around. Hey, what did you make of this whole Tim Welch situation, him telling Tim off and Merab off, and this whole thing sort of playing out?
In what way?
I guess the way that at the start he warned Merab about, hey, don't do that. Then he kind of told Tim off for excessive coaching. And I was just wondering, I saw Tim responded. He said that apparently he thinks you had calls towards Sean throughout the fight, and he had calls that had Merab's name in it. Just wondering what was your position, or what was happening there in the corner, man? It kind of all seemed kind of crazy and confusing for people at home.
Yeah, because they try to make a thing out of nothing, where he was talking to me throughout the fight, and I kind of just laughed about it. And there's one clip where he actually says something, Aljo, you got to go. And they took that clip and really twisted everyone's perception as if he was playing chess, not checkers. It would be one thing if I actually heard that and I actually followed his actions from his coaching to me, but it was nothing like that. And for them to try to play up on it, I think they were trying to double down to see if that really worked or not. And it didn't. If anything, it was just more annoying, because I told him, I was like, yeah, he was talking to me the whole time. It was more annoying than me actually listening to anything. And I actually didn't hear that specific moment because I was so driven on just trying to go forward. I didn't hear that at all. I didn't even hear my own team. So I think they were trying to do the same thing, and it was just funny to see Merab call him out right out of the gate I should have probably said something, but Mark Goddard in my fight at least said something to him and told him to stop doing that. I don't know if Herb said something in between rounds or not, but I made sure I was very vocal in the corner to Herb where he kind of like waved me off or brushed me off. I'm like, dude, tell him to shut the fuck up, you know? And then once he kind of did that, I was like, all right, fair game. I'm going to do the same exact bullshit, and let's just see how they like it. And I started telling Sean his laces were untied. Sean, he was too close to the cage. I was like, Sean, the takedown's coming. Oh, wait, Sean, don't react yet. Not yet, not yet. You know, so just playing the game back. And I mean, if you want to be a clown in the corner, we could go ahead and be clowns too, you know. But at the end of the day, skills what won the fight, and the better man won. And that's all that matters.
Dude, you did stand up for Sean though on Twitter though. I saw there was a disrespectful fan talking shit, and you were like, "Hey man, like this guy, like take it easy on the guy. He just lost this and that." It was really cool to see you do that. What made you want to sort of pop on there and do that for Sean?
I'm just not the same like these other guys, man. I don't know. Like I already get annoyed when fans do stuff like that. Whether or not I like Sean or don't like Sean, that's besides the fact. The point of the matter is we go out there and we fight our asses off to bring entertainment for people's lives. And the disrespect, even the one with Ortega when he's walking out, man just fought his ass off, and you got some guy hollering about some girl he used to date that's in the UFC. I'm just like, yo, there's just like, I don't know. I understand being a fan, you paid your money, you can support who you want to support, but being a dick, I don't think that comes along with it, you know? I don't think they both go hand in hand. People may want to call that soft or whatever, but I guarantee you, if you had to answer for your words, you wouldn't be calling it soft. You would be calling it being smart and respectful. I think it's a completely different thing. You know, if you play stupid games, you get stupid prizes. And I think we've gotten so far away from that because everyone's so quick to try to sue or to say, oh, I got under their skin. I'm like, dude, yeah, you got under my skin, and now look what you got. You know, so that's more so what it is. Sean definitely deserves it because when he beat me, I was very respectful in the cage. Even the presser, you know, I accepted the fight. I accepted that it was even if I didn't want to be in there, even if I came in compromise, all that still falls on me as the man who eventually said yes and decided to step into the octagon. So all that goes out of the window, but then to gloat about it and to start pretending like he fought the best version of myself, that's the part that I didn't like. And I got a little bit more vocal about that. And other than that, I still give him respect to still even become a champion. He still did what he needed to do in throwing the perfect shot and winning the belt.
But dude, that's great that you did that. And I agree with you. I think fans are just getting out of control sometimes. Come on, guys, you got to get your shit together. This is outrageous. And get stuff into perspective. I think there is a new generation of fan that doesn't quite understand that kind of aspect of it as well. So it was cool to see you do that on Twitter. Just quickly before we
that's what they need to get, because a good old fashioned ass whooping gets rid of all that. And that would be the definition of insanity, to keep getting your ass whooped for just being a loudmouth and having no tools to back it up. And notice it's only the people who have nothing going on in their lives that find entertainment in that, you know. So it is what it is. I think that's the generation. The parents didn't whip their ass enough.
Well, I would just tell people, because, you know, like seeing gym and seeing what it's really all about really gives you a different perspective, like an understanding of what you guys put yourself through when you get in that octagon. Just quickly, before we get off Merab, though, that keen on fighting Umar, he mentioned that maybe Figgy is the next guy that should be getting it. What's your thoughts on it, man? It looks like the UFC want to push Umar for the next spot, but Merab's not that keen on it.
I don't know who the UFC actually wants to push. I know Merab wants to fight Deiveson Figueiredo based on his merit of what he's done in the bantamweight division.
Yeah,
I believe he's beaten Rob Font, Cody Garbrandt submitted him, and Chito Vera. You know, so it's kind of hard to argue Merab's point. I do understand that Umar did beat Sandhagen, who was ranked number 2 at the time. So there's an argument there. But I think I can see both sides. And if the champ wants to fight Deiveson Figueiredo, I mean, O'Malley got to fight a guy who wasn't even ranked in the top 5. You know, so I don't think it's that crazy of a matchup. I don't think the guy's undeserving. I don't think anyone can say he's undeserving. But the UFC is going to do what's going to make the most money for them, and hopefully the champ has a say in that.
Fellas, do you want your grooming routine to be a one-and-done deal? Well, the days of using the same trimmer for your face and your private parts are over. Thanks to our friends at Manscaped. They're coming up with the ultimate package to keep your hairs trimmed from 12 to 6. Introducing the Beard Balls bundle featuring the Lawnmower 5.0 and the Beard Hedger, trimmer for the moneymaker, and another one for the boys downstairs. Get 20% off and free shipping now with the code word submission at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code word submission at manscaped.com. And fellas, real talk. I'm about to talk to you out there, the guys that are about to go on their dates, or the guys that are about to go in the gym, or the guys that are about to just go into work or do whatever life things you need to do. There are certain things you need to do to take care of yourself. Manscaped has you sorted, if you know what I mean. With the 20% off with the code word submission and free shipping today, the Ball and Beard bundle will make sure that you accomplish whatever it is you're trying to do out there. What about NordVPN? It is the ultimate VPN out there. To get the best discount off your NordVPN plan, you can go to nordvpn.com/submission. Now, our link will give you an extra 4 months on the 2-year plan. That's right, an extra 4 months. And there's absolutely no risk with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. The link is down below, or of course you go to nordvpn.com/submission. What about NordVPN? You can watch your sporting events, TV shows, films which aren't available by your region by switching your virtual location. You can protect your private data like bank details, passwords, and online identity. You can switch your location anywhere to save money by purchasing cheaper flights, hotels, subscriptions. And what about the threat protection feature that protects you from viruses, malicious malware, and phishing sites? It's the fastest VPN in the world with no buffering or lagging. Premium cybersecurity for the price of a cup of coffee per month. And one NordVPN account can be used up to 10 devices. That's right, 10 devices. Go to nordvpn.com/submission now. Get the deal. Try it risk-free. It's one of the best apps in the game as well. nordvpn.com/submission. Support the show so we can provide more interviews for you throughout the next few months with nordvpn.com and Manscaped now. Now back to the program. Talk about the crazy fight we saw between Diego Lopes and Brian Ortega, man, because I saw you said to Helen Yee that potentially the winner of that fight would be next to you after Movsar. What was your reaction? Like, did you get a chance to watch that fight? And if you did, what was your reaction to the crazy performance from Diego Lopes? I
thought Diego looks really sharp. Something about Ortega, maybe the time away, but I feel like he just fought Yair Rodriguez. I don't want to say not too long ago, but a couple months ago. He kept getting countered with the jab, and the jab, there was no feints to the jab. It was just he would throw a jab, and Diego would counter over the top. The calf kicks. I thought Diego just fought massively. He put on a great performance. I don't think there was any position where he was ever truly hurt. I think there might have been an up kick that made me jump like, oh, did he connect? Like, how well did he connect with that?
Yeah, there are a couple of good up kicks there, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was an interesting one. It was a tough one. And I can see, because Volkanovski is guaranteed his next title shot, no matter who wins between Ilia and Holloway, that Lopes is probably going to have to fight again. So I would imagine between the winner of myself and Movsar, I think that'll probably end up being the next title challenger.
But after seeing Diego, because I know you mentioned, the winner of this is potentially the person I'll fight next, but does it get you a little bit more excited about fighting him now after he's kind of like put on a performance like that? And a lot of people are saying, hey, this guy could potentially be the next champ. Does it make you a little bit more excited about potentially fighting him next now?
Oh, 100%. I mean, the guy's exciting. He's very popular. He's a fan favorite right now. There's nothing bad you can say about a guy like that. He came in, he lost in contenders, came back, and look what he's done. Short notice, stepped in against Movsar, had a great fight. Some people were trying to say he won. I thought it was a really close fight against a very dangerous guy, and then put out a couple other guys, and now taking out the number 3 guy in Ortega. I think that puts him right there. And similar situation as Umar, right? He beat the number 3 guy, but due to circumstances, he might have to fight one more time. But it definitely is an exciting time for the featherweight division and for myself, because that's not an easy fight. And and that excites me. You know, that's the most exciting part about it.
Dude, I love it. Like, you're in this division, you're bringing in all these new matchups with you. I got to ask, like, taking the title out of the picture, who are you most excited about fighting in the 145 division out of Volkanovski, Max Holloway, or potentially Ilia?
Without the title, who am I?
Yeah, without the title, which guy excites you the most?
Volkanovski for me. I mean, I'm stuck between him and Holloway, but I do think Volkanovski has a really tough style, and I think I could crack that code. That's just my 2 cents. You know, he's got a gas motor like nobody else. He's kind of like a 145 Merab, doesn't get tired, keeps moving, hard to hold down. Really good with his strikes, can pop in and out, inside leg kicks, a really good jab, a nice 1-2. He just beats guys down systematically, little by little, and then keeps chipping away. And eventually you either want to get out of there or he just dominates all the way through the scorecards.
Yeah, for sure. And he's, become a fan favorite now, which is really cool because he's been fighting here locally for a really long time. It took him ages to get to the UFC. Who do you actually think is going to be the champ by the time you get your title shot, though, man? Because, Ilya's fighting Max next. Then potentially Volkanovski will fight that winner. Who do you actually think is going to be holding the belt when it's going to be your turn for the shot at the title?
I don't know, man. That's such a pick 'em fight because they both bring two different stylistic approaches that I can see going either way. Max's footwork with his striking volume, his good defense. He has a really good chin. Then you have the body work and the calf kicks of Ilia Topuria. And we know if he touches your chin, he could put you down. So multiple ways for both guys to win. And of course, Topuria has that grappling in his back pocket that he hasn't really shown anyone. But, I've watched him for a while now, and I know how good he is on the ground. So there's a lot of different components to how the fight can go. So for me, I really can't pick. It's a tough call. It's really a tough call.
But it's a good time to come to the division, right? Because there's so many great fights. And look, I got to ask, like, Movsar, obviously undefeated, one of the toughest guys in the division as well. Fans regard him as a really, really stiff test. How did you actually end up with him as this next sort of assignment for UFC 307? Why did the UFC decide to sort of throw him your way? And what was your reaction when he kind of came across your desk?
I think the UFC needs a hitman. They're like, let's give him someone that can end him. And get him out of the title conversation, because I don't think they want him anywhere near the title. I'm pretty sure they probably don't want me near the title either, but I think they're like, let these two guys go grapple, hug each other for 15 or 25 minutes. So that's kind of how the matchup came about. And I didn't say no. I've said yes to literally everyone they offered to me. So I think when it comes to that, they know I'm always going to say yes. And now you have this matchup, a really high-level undefeated guy from Ingushetia, and you got this American-Jamaican ready to whoop his ass.
So is that what it looks like, man? Do you think it turns out to be a lot of high-level grappling here, or do you think it's a situation where you guys are so great at grappling that kind of cancels itself out and we see a bit more stuff go down on the feet?
I don't know. I really, it's really hard to say. I get out there and I kind of just feel where the fight's going to go, see what they're trying to do. Like, for the most part, my game plan is always to get the fight to the ground, but it comes instinctually. Like, sometimes I tell myself I'm going to strike, and then a scenario or a sequence will happen where my body just goes into wrestling mode, whether it's a clean transition because I've done so many reps like that. It just feels very familiar, very natural. And I kind of just drive towards that. But I have to actively tell myself, okay, we're striking. But then if the situation happens where, I've seen it a million times, I just kind of naturally go to it. So we'll see. It just depends on where the fight goes, how he decides to approach me in the octagon. I plan to go forward, go right at him, and just put the pressure on him right out of the gate and see who takes the first step back.
Like, I know you got respect for what he's done in the octagon. The guy's undefeated. And like you said, he's one of those guys the UFC's like, hey, maybe let's get him away from the title picture because, this is a guy that could go kind of all the way. But I know you said you had some comments there as well where you felt like maybe this guy's not 100% clean. And I saw he was on MMA Fighting and he's like, nah, I am 100% clean. He's kind of responded to your claims. Where you at with that? And do you still feel like this guy isn't clean? Because I guess my question to you about that would then be, why take a fight with someone that you think might be cheating? It must be like hard to be walking in there with a guy that you think might not be playing by the rules, right?
I mean, I fought a lot of guys that popped for stuff previously before I fought them. I fought a lot of guys that we've heard through the grapevine that are doing stuff, and this one's no different. So it's not like, oh, because I have suspicion that he might be cheating. You don't hear those suspicions about me. You don't hear no one saying, going around floating any rumors saying Aljamain teaches his teammates or teaches anyone how to do PEDs. You don't hear that. Now, on the other hand, a lot of my opponents, my upcoming opponent, have heard very similar conversations, people talking. So maybe he should check his circle. Whoever the hell he's telling, that's telling other people that it's now circulating, coming back to me. It is what it is. I'm just calling a spade a spade. And again, I don't have any hardcore evidence. I didn't see the guy in the bathroom. I didn't see him at his house, bent over in the counter, taking in the bum, So that's as far as it goes for me. But regardless, it's going to come down to skill. And I think I'm going to work hard enough where the PEDs won't even matter whether he's doing them or not. But at the end of the day, I do know there's people that have been around him that has said he has done stuff and has shown people. So whether I'm lying or I'm making shit up, people can say whatever they want. The truth tends to reveal itself. And I think good things happen for good people. And I think I'm the good guy in this situation, and he's the bad guy. And I'm coming to save the day.
Awesome, brother. It's like a new Marvel movie, but in the featherweight division. Before we wrap up, dude, Funk Harbor, talk to me a little bit about this. First of all, I saw you had a massive celebration with the Merab and John Jones. Did the Funk Harbor pop out, and did it help the party get started?
We actually don't have distribution here in Nevada yet. We're working on that. I actually just got a phone call with that. I'm supposed to go meet this guy to do a tasting right now. But no, not for the party. But we did do an interview with DC, and DC got to try, and he actually really liked it. And Merab finished the whole – he doesn't even drink, but he drank that, and he crushed it. And he was just like, wow, I think I feel drunk already, which is the funniest thing. But yeah, that's really about it right now. Right now, we're just online, direct to consumer, funkharborrum.shop, and hopefully we'll be in stores by the end of this year and have some international distribution soon.
Right on, man, because I was going to say there's a lot of people in Australia, New Zealand watching this right now as well, because there are a lot of fans in this part of the world that can't wait to get their hands on Funk Harbor. So for now, everybody can also jump online and follow Funk Harbor at Funk Harbor Rum on Instagram as well, just to make sure that they're across all the movements. And of course, this man, Aljamain Sterling, UFC 307. Dude, I can't wait. Appreciate you taking the time. I know you're a busy man. Thanks for popping on with me on Submission Radio.
Thank you guys. Thanks for having me.